Welcome, my beautiful Scorpios, to your February 2026 tarot reading. Um, so Scorpio, by the way, this is for all placements and definitely for those intuitively guided. Um, Interesting, the siren just went off. But as I was pre-shuffling your cards, this is what I was picking up from our guides. Number one, if you found yourself here, it's not a coincidence. You're meant to be here. Something or someone that you thought was over, so something or someone that you thought was over is revealing its true purpose now. So it doesn't necessarily mean like, let's say, love coming back together, but it doesn't mean it that it's not that either. So here's what Spirit's asking. It's asking for you to listen closely because the messages really do land differently when you're ready. So, like when your soul's ready, you'll understand the messages even more. So, let's go ahead and go to the cards and our spirit guides. We will, Mother Mary, open up your reading for her beautiful words of wisdom. We'll use the crystal vision to go deeper, and deep we go, and the universal tarot for your main spread. So I'm going to go ahead and open up your reading. I'm going to give Mother Mary a quick shuffle. I'm just going to ask you, just calm your mind. Try to listen with your intuition. And what I mean by that is try to put the expectations like on a shelf for right now. Just be open to what you're hearing. I often feel there's many messages within a single message. So, Mother Mary for my Scorpios. Shout out to my daughter on the 29th of October and November 6th for my brother Sean. I guess I'll give my ex-husband a shout out, who is the 31st. God. Like right to the top. Right to the top. Makes sense for Scorpio. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. Well, it's like not only prayers being heard, but being answered. What I want to remind you though is divine. You know, we can pray a prayer. Prayer, is that right? Pray a prayer. But sometimes it's answered differently than what we expected. But always better. So it's like you have the highest on your side. Always. But especially right now. And there's gotta be a reason. Alright. Let's find out. Let me go ahead and move my coffee. Alright. We're gonna use the Universal Tarot. And we're gonna do the Celtic Cross. I just feel like the Celtic Cross and the Universal Tarot, I feel like they are producing some really awesome and deep messages. So why not stay with them? All right. So what we're going to do is there are different positions. You probably know this by now. Number one, current, what's happening right now. Number two, what crosses that? So It can be something that helps, a helping hand, advice, or it could be something that may be getting in the way. So we'll see. Number 3 is the subconscious mind. Number 4, your past. I'm going to slide everything over. Number 5 is the conscious mind. So the conscious mind mirrors the subconscious mind. And then next is your near future, which mirrors your past. If you can notice, this is like the bridge from the past to the near future. We have you. By the way, the reason why I put these down instead of up is I like the mystery. I like the uncovering. It's like I get to tell a story, but it's your story. Okay, external influences or noise. Again, it can be beneficial or it's something we want to look at. Your hopes and your fears. And then last but not least is the final outcome. But remember, we can change that final outcome if we want to. All right. Let's go ahead and start with the current energy. Scorpio. Look at that. You want to talk about divine timing? Mother Mary sending out God. So this is Temperance. It is the card of Sagittarius. The meaning of the card is twofold. Number 1 is patience. And if you just look at the image, it's like you can see Temperance mixing loving waters of 2 cups. But it happens in its divine timing. And what that means, it happens when it's right for you. Especially when temperance is involved. So it is like a ritual of the flowing waters of 2 cups. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, what comes over that? Wow. The 2 of Wands. So again, it feels like the energy of patience is coming to an end because the 2 of Wands is about literally the willingness to take a step onto a new path. And it is Wands, so it's action oriented, passion driven. It's like something will stir within you that makes you want to take this step, let's say. Maybe it just starts with one single step. But this is a good thing because number 1, I feel like patience is really no longer needed. So whatever Temperance is doing behind the scenes, I feel like it's ready to come to fruition. So let's go down to the subconscious mind. King of Swords. Can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But King of Swords to me is about integrity in the upright, truth. Subconsciously, some of you may have been having dreams like a dream about someone, but it may be faceless. It's interesting how I guess divine does that. Like let us dream about someone, but then, and what's interesting is I had a couple dreams about Sam before he called me, and I couldn't see his face, but I knew it was him. So we'll see. Let's go to the past. And the reason why I'm going, well, I don't know if I'm going quickly, but for me, quickly, is because we are going to bring out the crystal vision to truly go deeper. So let's look at the past. Oh, hello, Capricorn. How interesting, because you were all through Capricorn's reading. And let's talk about what this means for a second. It definitely talks about temptations. Being tempted to things of lower vibration, let's say. This certainly may also speak to like love that felt, what's the word I want to use? Like earthly bound, not spiritual. Well, it's funny as I say that. It could be it is two spiritual souls, because we're all spiritual souls. Um, and the devil is great at casting illusions. And what he's doing, he's casting illusions over these lovers. And is he making them feel like they cannot be together? Again, it's an illusion. But I would also say, because it is in your past, maybe something you want to look at and make a decision of like I'm no longer willing to fight the fight. Well, let's see. We'll keep going. Let's look at the conscious mind. So this is what you are aware of, or you very soon will be. Seven of Swords. Untrustworthy energy. So you're aware of this. This makes me feel like you're taking a new path. You're taking a new path, especially with the King of Swords in your subconscious mind, because I really feel like it's more you. Or let's say in my subconscious mind, maybe I really want love. And I don't mean to go to love right away, but temperance is mixing the loving waters of two cups. And I definitely feel like there was a past issue, let's just put it that way, of someone you couldn't trust. The Seven of Swords, they call the thief in the night. And I definitely feel like it's someone who takes more than their fair share. Now, can they evolve? Of course they can. But they have to want that, right? They have to be willing. And then actually put action steps behind it, is what I just heard. Not just willing, but willing to show, willing to be. All right, well, let's go to your near future. Two Swords. Interesting. It's like, are you being lured back? Or, you know what I feel like? I feel like you're uncertain what to do. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like someone has your heart, or had your heart, and maybe still has a little piece of it. But yet, at the same time, let's just say, if they are luring you back, because I have to say, with the Devil and the Seven of Swords, that can definitely be energy of luring someone back. But if you have clarity, which really is what the Two of Wands is, clarity, but then the Two of Swords potentially blocking. But there is a blindfold on. So, potentially blocking, but yet at the same time, that blindfold to me represents something I may not want to face. And it may be that Seven of Swords. You may be, and I feel like you are, like evolving. And because you're evolving, don't be surprised if things and people who are not start to fade away. But that's the natural way. Like, that is evolution, I guess. First of all, Divine is your first card. That takes some of the fear away right off the bat. And part of me is feeling like the past may call again. But is that a good thing? That's where I'm hung up right now. Is that a good thing? I guess it depends how they come back, if they come back. Or I'm saying they come back. Let's say you accept, or at least you're open to hearing what they have to say. That's where you really want to trust your intuition. All right, let's go to you. Six of Swords. Moving on up to the side. Meaning of this card is moving on. It means you realize what and who has been toxic in your life, what and who maybe have been holding you back. This is literally saying no more. So, this makes me feel confident that if someone was to like return or reach out, that I feel like you now know. And I feel like you won't accept less than, which makes me happy. And again, it doesn't like I'm torn because part of me is like, well, maybe this person is evolving. Maybe this situation is evolving. And maybe what I needed to do is just be very honest with myself. Take off any blindfolds. Like if there's untrustworthy energy around me, I need to know that. I'd rather know that. And I know sometimes it's easier to be in denial, but excuse me one second. Okay. Sorry, I'm right back. Anyway, let's keep moving. Let's look at the external. If I can pick it up. Well, hello, star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. First thing I feel like is they already lie out there. They're just waiting on you. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. Like when the timing is right for you, the timing is right. But it is like divine is picking up on what you were wishing for. Wow. It is a card of Aquarius. And, I have to say with this that you're part of manifesting these dreams, right? You're putting the energy behind it. You are putting your intentions out there. And I love that it's following the Six of Swords because you now know what and who's been toxic to your system. And I don't feel like that's what you're calling back. But I mean, we'll see. But again, because you have this clarity now, like I feel like that opens up the world. Let's look at your hopes and fears. Speaking of the world, hello. So something has come to completion. And the world speaks about the next chapter opening up. It is connected to the star. So I feel like there is something that you want to be part of this chapter. And, the world to me, by the way, this is the Fool in between. So it is the willingness to take a leap of faith. And that may be some of your fears. Like, If I close this chapter, I close it for good. And that can be scary. But yet at the same time, and let's say it is a person of the past. It doesn't always mean that you're closing the chapter on them. But what you are saying is if you want to be with me, then you must raise your vibration. Right? Like we need to meet each other in a higher vibration. Some of you may be a little worried about closing a chapter. Yet I do feel like that's part of what helps your wishes become your reality. So it's like a hope, but yet a fear. So I feel it twofold. All right, let's look at the final outcome. Look at that, the tower. So we want to change this. We want to change this. And it's interesting because the tower is mirroring the Six of Swords. So, honestly, it feels like you're giving the tower. You're saying no more to something. And it's right across from the Seven of Swords. Wow. Yes. Say no to that. No matter who they are, even if it's family, it's not like you have to get rid of them, but I would say at this point, like, I know when you're lying and when you're not lying. So don't play me for a fool because I know. Some of you, I feel like you're talking to your children. But it is interesting because I do feel, at first I was like, oh man, final outcome, the tower. But yet now I kind of feel it as your strength. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. Wow. No more, no more, no more, no more. Three of Swords. Heartbreak, heart loss, or loss. Look at that. The Knight of Cups underneath that. So, I just feel like someone just wasn't giving you what you deserve. Even the Five of Wands underneath that. Again, some of you saying your piece and meaning it. All right, let's bring in the cosmic tarot. And let's go deeper now. And we're going to start at the current position. I want to know what Temperance is doing, if we may. Look at that, your major arcana, the death card. And I have to say, Scorpio, the one thing that you really need to become comfortable with is transformation in your life. This is definitely what you represent. And on a soul level, I feel like you really help people transition. Or you could be very good at that, let's say. But probably a lesson you had to learn first, right? I had to learn when it was time to close doors. Because every time I close a door, a new door will open. Two of Wands is kind of that new door. Whoa. Hello, lovers. It just fell off the table. Look at this. Wow. Hello, lovers. So the lovers follow. How interesting, because I'm sorry, I'm moving around trying to get comfortable. But how interesting, because the death card, right? The closing of a chapter. And I literally just said, when you close one door, another door opens. And look at the door that opened. The lovers. Just look at the imagery. Look at the coloring. Passion. Desire. Chemistry. But the meaning of the card is a head over heart decision. But it's following that closed door. It's kind of blowing my mind, because let's not forget, temperance is underneath that. We have the Four of Cups, and then we have the Queen of Cups, which I definitely feel is you. Though it could be, I mean, we do have the Death card, could be another Scorpio. Gemini is the lovers, and Queen of Cups can be you again, Cancer or Pisces. But now let's kind of forget about that, because I definitely know what this is talking about. So we close the door here. Somewhere along the way, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust divine. I'm going to trust in divine timing. I know that, if I take off these blindfolds, if I'm very honest with myself, and I'm willing to close whatever doors need to be closed, but knowing that another door will open. And by the way, again, the star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And I feel like the Six of Swords is like, all right, well, Scorpio did their part. And the Four of Cups talks about discontentment or boredom within one's emotional world. Well, that makes sense. Um, but in the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in. So the meaning of this card is learning to use your spiritual discernment, especially as it relates to your emotions. So usually you see this queen holding a cup. So it is like answering your prayer for love, but it just may be different. It may be different. But here's why I feel like it's going to be different. Because you feel like you're evolving. Even though it may be hard to close a chapter, here you are doing it. And then immediately the lover shows up. And it's answering that emotional dissatisfaction. And for the majority of you, I do feel like the death card is you, because the Queen of Cups is mirroring the death card. So it's like you have to be the one to close a chapter. Maybe divine is like that's part of the free will. But also, oftentimes I feel like everything is teaching us something. So extract the wisdom. And let's just say because the Two of Wands is connecting the past to the near future. But what I would say is if this has anything to do with the past in this lifetime, because I also feel past lives, but in this lifetime, I feel like what you've been learning is how to claim your own power, how to say no to lower vibrational energy, even if I kind of want it, right? And it's not that like all of a sudden you don't want something. I feel like it's more about the realization that you've been evolving. And temperance knows that. God knows that. And boy, does it feel like it's answering your prayer. I just don't know yet if it's going to be different than what you thought. But listen, even if it's different, the lovers being like what opens up this next chapter, and we had the next chapter that's connected to your star, but also connected to the energy of realization. I know everything that was going on back here now. Wow. Okay. This is why I love bringing in. I almost feel like I want to leave the lovers out. I'm going to just put them right there. I feel like they deserve to be out. Okay. Well, let's go down to the conscious or the unconscious mind. Some of you with the King of Swords being right below that, um, can represent Gemini for some of you, but then we do have Aries right here. So that's why I tell you, like, okay, that's a lot of cards. Oh boy. I feel like I have to take them. I'm going to take them. All right, let's start with the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands. A lot of responsibility. Everything is on your back. To me, it's the energy of like, I don't know if I can keep climbing this mountain. But you do. And I feel like you do reach the mountaintop. But this is the mountaintop of truth. Like you may say to yourself here, again, it's in the subconscious mind. This may be how your guides reach you. I mean, many other ways too. But let's just say for those who have a hard time quieting their mind during waking hours, well, we'll visit you in your sleeping hours. Anyway, something has become just too much to carry. We have the Eight of Wands, can be fast moving energy, but also what I think about, I bring about. So I kind of like that first you have this awareness. Even if it's subconscious, it will move to the conscious mind. But it does feel like I have this awareness that, maybe something I had to learn is I do tend to carry, you know, the brunt of a relationship on my shoulders, and it shouldn't be that way. Temperance would never introduce you to someone unless it was a karmic lesson. But I see nothing that's moving you into a karmic lesson. If anything, I feel like there's a lot of people in the readings for February that are completing karmic lessons. And remember, there's always a blessing afterwards. All right, let's keep going. Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, potentially. Four of Wands. The marriage card. Commitment. True commitment. Five of Swords. Interesting, because in the subconscious mind is the Five of Swords. That's where the toxicity lies. That's where you're having the awareness. And then in your conscious mind, the Six of Swords. So you're working some things out in the subconscious mind. It's interesting. We have the Five of Wands. Look at that. Two fives back to back. The Tower. Judgment. Your spiritual team. And I'm going to go through all these. The Ten of Swords. And the Page of Pentacles. Interesting, because the first thing I felt with the Page of Pentacles is I've been learning here. I've been learning here. You know, the Ten of Wands. Enough is enough. And in the subconscious mind, this is where you're realizing what's toxic. You're also, I feel like there's this energy of push and pull, push and pull. Like one step forward, 10 steps back. And maybe over and over again. And I feel like if this has anything to do with love, because we do have, again, the commitment card, but in your subconscious mind, it would be true love. You know what I mean? Like really good love. And then judgment comes out. Well, they're calling you to the present moment. And then temperance, right? Patience, trust in divine timing. But then judgment is saying, this is your divine timing. And then the Page of Pentacles. First of all, let's not skip over this Ten of Swords, because I feel like this is saying this is potentially a repeat pattern. And it does kind of feel like a karmic loop. But what have you learned from it? That feels like the main purpose. What has it taught you about yourself? And by the way, the Page of Pentacles to me, very laid back. I'm not looking back and judging myself. What did I learn here? Number one, to claim your own power, to reclaim your life. Because this could be a repeat. And all these fives, and then you get the two artist tens, but all in the subconscious mind. And I feel like, it's interesting because where I said that I feel like for some of you, especially those who have like a super busy day, and you're raising kids, you have a job, it may be hard for spirit to like, I feel like for some of you, it's like numbers. And you may notice that, like you may see 1111, you're like, oh, 1111, and then you walk away. I'd stop for a second. Be like, 1111, what's going on right now? What was I just thinking about? And maybe even look it up. And I'm just saying 1111, though. 1111, make a wish. 1111 could be twin flame. Okay. But this is showing that your guides not only are reaching you, but they know, because this is the second time we've seen this, that if you're going to give your heart, it must be true. They must be true. Or again, keep on walking by. Walk on by. Okay. Let's go to your past. So I feel like we just saw a bit of your past. Interesting. Six of Cups. So there are some happy memories there. The Eight of Cups. The Magician. The Chariot. Look at this, the Nine of Cups. So, I have to say, number one, seeing the Magician in your past energy, and by the way, it would be your recent past. I feel like it's more of the awareness of your own power. Because then we move into the Eight of Cups, and this is you walking away. But you're walking away with emotional clarity. And how do I know that that is a fact? Because you end up in the Nine of Cups. You should turn it the other way, right? This is walking away, but this is really having emotional clarity. So I've taken the time to kind of evaluate these cups that have been knocked over. I don't need to know about every cup. Some are just free will. Some taught me. Some taught me what I don't want, what I cannot accept. Some taught me that I really need someone to be on the same emotional level with me. I can't guess. I don't want to guess. This tells me that you didn't have inner harmony. And your past had a part of that. So the walking away, literally, she's heading towards the Nine of Cups. There it is. This is your inner fulfillment, but it's also fulfillment of wishes. And then you put the Magician and the Chariot together. Like, hello, power. Some of you are just starting to realize that you deserve more in your life. The Chariot really represents your unlimited potential in all areas of your life. Magician may be asking you, what do you want to focus on? What do you want to grow? What do you want to manifest? I do love you have the Magician and the Star in this reading. Because I feel like if you truly want to manifest, but listen, let me say this also. The Chariot requires balance to be all that it can be. It's the balance of the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, the light and the shadow. And in the Eight of Cups, that's really where you're evaluating the shadow. And now you got a hand on it. So, in this energy, the world is your oyster. But yet God is saying, we hear your prayers and we are answering them. But it might just blow your mind. And it is interesting we get the Six of Cups. So, Six of Cups, first of all, can be someone you already know. But if that's the case, this is about nostalgia. This is about happy memories. And it's interesting because there may be a mixture of both. Okay. I also just got a message that for some of you, this is past life. But it doesn't mean because it's past life that you. Okay. So I feel like a soul, it doesn't feel like yours, came into this lifetime to go through some difficult things. It's like they chose a hard life. And they got it. I don't feel like it's you. I'm not saying your life's been easy. But I feel like what this is saying is this person that I'm feeling, this is about their soul evolving in this lifetime. So even though I'm feeling a lot of difficult energy around them, boy, I have to say, I feel like there's a chance. But they have to follow their soul's calling. Like these are their lessons to learn, not yours. And for some of you, may have been like waiting around for them to learn the lessons, but we can't make them, nor can spirit. Spirit's like, you asked for it, I'm guiding you, but it's like they turned their antenna off. Maybe not forever. That's interesting because I'm like torn. And that may be exactly how you feel. Though, let me make sure that you understand what I'm really feeling is no matter what happens here, you are evolving. You are saying no more to toxic energy, whichever way it shows. You now know the difference. And by the way, what a great thing to know. Like when like I feel that you can feel energy 1,000 miles away. And now you just need to trust that. Trust yourself. Okay. But there is powerful energy back here. And I do feel like it is you in the Nine of Cups, which is your card also, by the way. Um, but again, that's inner harmony. So no matter what happens, I feel like you're walking away clear. You're walking away, what's the word I want to say? Balanced. Um, you're believing in your dreams again. Like, I feel like I want to leave that there. But I also don't want you to forget about the magician. All right, let's go up to the conscious mind and see what's going on with the Seven of Swords. Four of Pentacles. Okay. Shown in reverse, but I'm not really reading reversals today. And by the way, I tell my guides that, but I do keep that in mind. And that may just certainly talk about someone whose foundation is not steady. You know what I mean? Like, and the Four of Pentacles, especially in reverse, can be very resistant to change or very resistant to other people's ideas. It's almost like this person has to figure it out themselves. And that's that. They have to figure out that they don't start things with a strong foundation. Maybe they don't even think that way. But I have a feeling as life gets harder and harder, they will. It can be the energy of like my way or the highway. But I know you, Scorpio. Like, you may give them some time, but then I feel like, okay, well, I now choose the highway. Look at this, the Knight of Cups. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. Lovers. Can I trust this? Though, again, keeping in mind the temperance is really the one who again, is mixing those loving waters. So I want to look more at this. The Eight of Swords, Five of Pentacles, though it was in reverse, and then the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Two knights. One offers a cup of love, one offers passion, desire. How interesting. Let me just say this. I know that this other person, they have some lessons to learn. I feel like these walls of the Eight of Swords, I feel like it's theirs, not yours. And I get this sense, like, I get the sense of you putting an end to it. But yet I do feel like they're coming back around. And you know what I'm feeling? I feel like someone who potentially loved you, had a lot of issues, which were theirs, not yours. You know, I almost feel sorry for this person because I feel like they really do want real love. But at the same time, I get this sense of that they're very aware. You know, it's like, and I know this is not going to be everyone's story, but this is someone's story. I feel like I broke up with this person, and it was during that silent period where they started to have some realizations about you. And maybe you really are the one. And again, I am not telling you to take this person back, especially if you really do have clarity now. But I'm also not going to say this person didn't evolve. All right, so I want to ask our guides, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Is this going to help Scorpio, or is this going to, like, tell us more? Oh, Six of Wands, victory and success. You know what it feels like? Like someone's finally seeing it your way. I get the sense of other people being attracted to you. And this person knows that. And I know I'm going slow here, but I want to be as accurate as I could be at the same time. So I do feel like this is someone coming back. Though when I say come back, I don't even know like how long it's been. I just feel like there was a breakup, and I feel like during that period of time was when they had the realization. It's funny because I feel like here you are moving on, but yet the star may also include them. Hmm. And I just asked our spirit guides, is this a good thing for Scorpio or not? Well, Six of Wands is victory. And I get this sense of like other people admiring you. And they know that. And you deserve that. It's not that, I don't feel like it's not that they want to take that away, because I feel like that's just who you are now. Okay. Let's move into the Two of Swords, which is the near future. The King of Wands. Interesting. Can be Leo, um, Sagittarius, or Aries. Six of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like what you're saying here is, I feel like you're very clear at this point in your near future. And I feel like if anyone comes back, let's say, I feel like something you would say is, I'm done with wondering. I'm done with the here and then the not here. I want someone who's present. I want someone who's able to give as I give. I want someone equal. But when I say equal, I mean like on a spiritual, on a spiritual lens, or through a spiritual lens. You know, Six of Pentacles is that fine art of give and take. And I feel at this point, that's what you're saying. Like, don't bother me if you can't put action behind your words. Just don't bother me. So I do feel you're very clear. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at you. Well, that didn't take long. The Unknown card. So this is the High Priestess. But her crystal ball is clouded. She can only see, well, not too far. But maybe she's not meant to see that far out. Why? Because we're creating our reality as we go. Our current choices, our current energy is really the predictor of what our future is going to look like. The Whale, your destiny. So whatever you're manifesting feels like it was meant to manifest anyway. So this, how do I love that the Star card is now over your your destiny is over the Star card. I feel like what this is saying also is, don't look too far out in the future, because it's your present moments. The seeds that you're planting today will predict your future. Like, you can predict your own future by understanding the energy you're putting out right now, the power of your intention. But in a way, I feel like this is a divine time for at least a wish, if not more than one, to come to fruition. So let's keep going. You know, it seems like your reading wants to talk about love, but you are Scorpio. Hello, Sun. Listen, anytime you get the Sun in a reading, it's a good thing. This is your illuminator. This is really like bringing that inner child out and letting it play. This is having fun. This is also really a source of protection, because when the sun is out, Shadows cannot hide. So if anything of a shadow comes into the picture, it will be very clear. This is like, I often feel like hometown energy, but it doesn't have to be. But how beautiful the sun is coming over the world. And the world is signifying like what has come to completion and what new is opening up of the light. There's nothing to fear here. And having the wheel right below it. Not just the wheel, but also the star. Look at the major arcanas. Wow. Hello, Knight of Pentacles. Guardian Angel energy. This knight has a message. This knight tells you, I come at the right time. Not before, not after. You can wish me before it's time, but that doesn't make me come. And the reason I come at the right time is so that you can take advantage of what I bring. And this knight brings a pentacle. And a pentacle means something is coming into your physical world. It's tangible. It's coming from the highest. It's like guardian angel protection. But also, when this night arrives, it's the right time. It just so happens to be coming over that tower. So I feel like the realization, let's just take love off the table for a second and just talk about you and how you're evolving. You're definitely here saying, I'm not willing to live in toxic energy anymore. I'm just not going to have it anymore. And this night is like, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what I've been waiting for. And that is probably why I felt, as soon as I turned that card over, that it was you giving the tower. And listen, I don't feel like you give it easy. Like I give everyone towers. But because your energy is changing, because you're evolving, and it's literally showing that, well, so will everything else in your life. It doesn't promise that everything will be easy now, but with a clear mind, clear vision, and clear intuition, you're just going to feel, you're going to feel light. You're going to believe in miracles again. Why? Because I feel like your spiritual team wants you to believe in miracles. That's interesting because, well, I hope my daughter doesn't get mad when I say this. I feel like I said this last month too. But, I do pray for my daughter, of course. And, I prayed that God bring in a love that loves her so deeply. And she loves so deeply. And I asked God, I said, make it feel like a miracle. That way we cannot deny it. She can't deny it. She can't deny you. Hasn't happened yet. Or maybe it has, but the energy, it's like the energy is getting ready for this wheel to start answering some of these wishes that you have. But again, I feel like whatever you're wishing for, especially if you feel like it's of the light, I would say prepare yourself because it's coming in. And the Knight of Cups tells you it's coming into your physical world. You know, you have the Knight of Cups, unexpected couple fulfillment. The Knight of Wands, passion, can't deny it. Potentially either a past life love or this time, this life. And for some, because here's the big thing with this is about them evolving. And if they have, well, then beautiful. I would tell you to go for it. But if they haven't, if it's going to be the same old, then I would tell you, try to let it go. You know, sometimes we think, this is my person. This is my person. But yet, they don't give us what we really deserve. So, how could that be your person? And I'm not saying it couldn't be a soulmate, because it probably is. But yet, I do feel like there was some karma, whether it be theirs, yours, or a combination. I feel like you cleared it up. That is why the Knight of Pentacles came in. And let's just say that this person, whether a past life or this life or both, does reappear again. Well, the sun really is your protector at the same time. So if they have any ill intent, you'll know very quickly. But the truth is, I don't feel they do. And I don't say that very often. Hmm. You know what I want to do? And I know this is going to make your reading long, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to pick up these. And quickly, let me re-straighten this first. It's just the Virgo in me. Um, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's just go over a few things. And what I'm really looking for is synchronicities. Let's give them a cut. All right. So again, I'm looking for synchronicities. I am going to look at the current energy first. I'm not going to clarify every card, but there are a few I feel like we need just a little bit more clarification in. So temperance. Temperance. Hello, son. Look at that. Complete awareness. Also Leo's ruler, by the way. Three of Wands. And then the Six of Wands. Interesting. All right, so the Three of Wands. This is great energy. This is the energy of optimism. And why not? The sun is right there. And the Three of Wands is living in the present moment. It is literally where you are saying to divine, I trust you. I trust that my divine gifts will come in their due time. And that's what the Knight of Pentacles does. So you're kind of releasing control, but trusting, in divine, but also your intuition. And then the Six of Wands, well, victory and success again. But let me tell you something, this victory and success is you. Like it's you. It's other people taking notice of you. And it could be for many different reasons. It could be like you do something and you do it really well, and other people notice that. Um, I definitely feel that you carry the energy where people come to you seeking advice, and I feel like you easily give it because I feel like that makes you feel good. So, temperance, right? Trust in divine timing, yet judgment, even the Three of Wands, all are calling you to the present moment. It means there are some shifts or blessings, which we already know are coming through. All right. So I want to look at the past real quick. Oh my. Six of Pentacles and Temperance. Listen, I feel like someone of your past, I feel like they are learning. I feel like they are evolving. And I feel like they're realizing that they have to be able to give and show you love to keep your love. And it's interesting how Temperance is also over them. I mean, listen, not all love is easy. That's for sure. And again, it's not about you waiting around to see if this person evolves or not. Like I feel like you're moving in this different direction, and you're moving with clarity. You are thinking about like I want to start manifesting some things in my life, right? I want my life to look better. And even the fool in between the world and the world really signifying walking hand in hand with your spirituality at this point. That's how much you're trusting in it. So I feel like we just have to let Temperance do her job back here. We need to put our mind looking towards the future. In the present moment. Now I want to look at that Seven of Swords again. Now that we have Temperance in the past, let's see if it changes the conscious energy. Look what comes back out again, the Eight of Swords, but look what's connected to it, the Six of Cups. This is not your fight to fight. I feel like this is them. And I feel like when they think of you, they think about the good parts. I feel like this is someone who loves your inner child energy. But they have fear. They have fear. And I don't know. Listen, let me say this. I know that you're not here to try to fix them or to teach them how to love because they are adults. And I feel like we've all gone through difficult relationship, difficult breakups, and then we come out the other end eventually. They seem to be in this place of wanting, but yet fear. And this being a self created prison, truly the only person who can uncreate it is the one that's created it. So it's like something is getting through to their heart. Temperance has a big part of it. All right, I'm going to take one more. I just want to see if those walls come down. I feel like I have a big, strong man, but inside, I'm a little boy. But I mean that as in fears that I have. So I present myself one way, but inside, I'm really kind of a mess. But I feel like they know that. The Page of Cups, well, that is your inner child. You may be helping to heal someone without even connection, without even talking. Like you may have planted a seed that is growing. But again, it's like Temperance is saying, let me deal with that. Let me deal with that. So I'm going to go down to the Two of Swords now. Here's the thing. I feel like there's a few of you who did tell someone that you had enough, right? That you couldn't trust them, that it became too much. You don't know if they're telling the truth or not. And I feel like you're right. Every step of the way, you're right. Um, and again, someone who presents themselves like so strongly to the world, but within it's like they're crumbling. Not you, them. The High Priestess. Over the Two Swords, which is interesting because the Two Swords can certainly talk about uncertainty. And it's a two. And now we have the High Priestess, which is a two. This is about your intuition. This is your GPS. High Priestess says you can trust. This is lifetimes of wisdom that you can pull on. And it's really what you want to follow. Oh, forgot to turn my phone off. All right. So it's interesting because before, as we started this reading, the Two Swords, it was possibly a blindfold, but everything seems to be changing that, where the blindfold has come off, the truth is known. Um, by the way, I don't feel like this is like all of a sudden I find out something bad about someone. No, I just feel like it's energy that kind of wasn't giving you much. And I just feel like you've had enough. But yet, in a way, I feel like, and then they miss you. And Temperance is working with them. So Divine is trying to help them. It's like Divine is saying, you can't just take and not give. You have to learn how to give and take equally. So this is what they're learning right now. And probably what they have to ask themselves. Like, if I do ask Scorpio to consider me, can I truly give them what they deserve? You know, someone can love you, but that doesn't mean love is all we need, right? We need honesty. We need someone who's an equal partner with us, right? We need partnership. Eight of Cups. So, again, emotional clarity. But it's interesting because I'm looking at the Six of Swords, and this is where you've realized what's been toxic, and this is you moving away from it. It doesn't always have to mean physically you're moving away from it, but energetically you are. And there's that Eight of Cups again. That emotional clarity. And remember, it's an 8, so it is about a new beginning. It's also the number of infinity. We had destiny here last time. So I actually like how you're evolving. The Two of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles over the star. You know, that's great energy for those who may have wanted to. By the way, two eights back to back, 88. But what I was going to say, for those who, you know, something may have piqued your interest as it were like work related. And the Eight of Pentacles talks about the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, really meaning you don't need to know everything to get started. So this may be not just answering, you know, in a way I feel like it's answering love, but I feel like it's more about like, I gotta let divine handle this as I move into, you know, my blessings. So this feels also very good for your money, but it is a decision of whether I do it or not. Two of Pentacles, you know, it called the Juggler's card. I feel like it's more like using your logical mind. And if you've been dreaming about doing something, creating something, this is backing that up for you. Like this may be its divine timing. You just have to start. Now, if this is also relating to love, the Eight of Pentacles tells you, like, how do I know that we can be successful this time? Well, the Eight of Pentacles says if you focus on it, it will grow, but it does need your focus. Right, but equal. All right. Here I said I wasn't going to clarify every card, and here I am clarifying again every card. But I just felt like it was important. Hello, Magician. Wow. Right over the world. Some of you are like, I didn't even know I had this much power. I didn't know that if I truly put my intentions on something, that I could manifest it. I do have to put action behind it. You can see the big infinity number the magician carries, as above, so below. Let you know you're not walking alone and that you have a lot of help to help you manifest the type of world you want. This is the year that we're in, Universal Year 1. We're all the alchemists this year. And this is coming over the world. So, if nothing else, goodbye 2025 and hello 2026. Look at that. The hangman just had an awakening. Didn't happen overnight. Wow. Let me say this. There's true power with this because this is truth without shadow. This is trusting within your intuition 100%. This is now wanting to live a spiritual life. And it is a process, step by step. But I have to say, I feel like if anyone in your near future tries to pull the wool over your eyes, good luck to them. Because it won't happen. It won't happen. And no wonder Temperance is like, if this person of the past is meant to be part of your future, then let divine do its job. And if they come back, or even profess the way that they feel, though, as I say that, I do feel like this is someone who maybe doesn't have the easiest or doesn't find it like that easy to express themselves. But at the same time, I feel like they know that they would have to. So let me just say this. For some of you, this may be talking about someone of the past. But then I want you to remember that we got the Lovers that followed your major arcana, the Death card. So we know you have love on your path, no matter what. And who it's going to be, well, it may be different for different people. But here's the important part of this reading. It's like you have more clarity than ever. It's like you know who you are and you know what you deserve. And you're not willing to take less anymore. And it's not even a cocky way. It's just the truth. This is my truth. And if you can't live with my truth, then you can't live with me. But I do feel like Temperance is setting you up with soulmate energy. And for some of you, it may be past life. And I'm going to ask one more question. I just want to know about love as it relates to Scorpio's near future. Queen of Wands. So, Queen of Wands, she follows her passion. If she feels it, she follows it. She's not a fear-based energy. She is lighting the fire, which to me feels symbolic, like she's lighting her flame. Like I'm lighting my flame to the universe. Could be a sign of I feel ready. But not just for anyone. And that may be part of what Temperance is also orchestrating. That you be ready also. But how beautiful. You having a spiritual awakening in this new chapter and then carrying the magician's energy, knowing, Not only can you make your dreams come true, but I also want to say, again, like Mother Mary's first message, I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. And then we get the Chariot. So I was asking about love. So again, I feel like what this is saying is where there is balance, there is love. When the masculine and the feminine both are balanced, they really possess unlimited potential. Now, whether this be the person of the past or the lovers representing someone new. And when I say unlimited potential, and I'm just looking at this energy here, baby, I mean unlimited potential. So, I feel like we need the romance angels, and then we're just going to let it be. And by the way, please know that I never, um, let's say this person of the past is just, I don't know, just bad news. Never would I suggest you take that person back, nor would your spiritual team. But there seems to be something different happening here. There seems to be energy behind the scenes. And again, it's not about you waiting. It's about you following your dreams, like, of really whatever you want to manifest, especially in the awakened state. Like, let me tell you, whoever's going to love you, they better be special. Wow. Look at this. Worth waiting for. And how interesting. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And we have temperance in your current position, which is about the soulmates. And we have temperance working with the past. Wow. Again, it can be past lives. I want you to understand that. But yet, even if it was past lives, I feel like there were issues. And, if it was past lives, this may be the lifetime where hopefully I feel like your soul is already evolving. And hopefully theirs does too, if it's meant to be. But because divine, and I literally felt that, like divine working behind the scenes, but in your favor. Wow, that's exactly what this says. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And the worth waiting for. I want to take out the word waiting because I don't feel like you're waiting. I feel like you're over here doing your thing. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Interesting. You know, I don't feel like I don't feel like there are red flags. I feel like there probably were. But I feel like what this is saying is because you're in this state of awareness, you'll be able to pick up any red flags. Your intuition will see them, feel them immediately. That's the beauty of being able to read energy. I don't need to see the red flag, I feel it. codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Now, I'm not really feeling that other than, you could have been like addicted to someone else, or there could be two people who, the relationship may be, again, on and off, this bad and good and blah, blah, blah. And you both may be contributing to that. All right, one more. Or two more. Getting to know each other. Getting to know each other. I love this image because here's a man trying to lure a woman, but in a good way. Trying to earn her respect. Let's put it that way. But look at the daughter. It's like the mother's enjoying it. The daughter is paying attention to every word. It's like the daughter is saying, you got to get through me to get to my mother. And so they do. And so they do. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. How could it not if you yourself are evolving to a higher level of awareness? How could not everything in your life only get better? It's interesting where it has this conversation, even if it's someone of yesteryear, these conversations I feel are still important. Yet at the same time, I have to say that I feel like I've never felt the energy of temperance so strong in a reading as I do here. And it's like your spiritual teams have been working behind the scenes for you, but also for another. And it does feel like this is destined. But let me tell you this. For those who have no interest, if this is someone that you know in this lifetime, then that's what the Lovers was signifying, right? That closing of that door. So you're saying no more. And then the Lover shows up. So it's like, don't take, you do whatever you feel. But I feel temperance is being very clear. For those where this past person and you really are, like, let's say, destined, then I feel it will come together. It may take time because divine is working with them, but I don't feel like you are meant to wait. You're meant to create. And the rest of it, like divine, is working in your love life right now. Engagement, your love life is ascending to a high level of commitment. Why? Because you deserve it, because you know it now. Because you know it now. And I mean it in a spiritual way. You don't have to chase love. And I don't feel like you are. If anything, love is chasing you. All right, I'm going to let that be. Otherwise, this will be extremely long. I thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. What a reading. Please leave me your comments. Let me know. Let me know where you're at in the reading. And remember, the readings really are a roadmap, how to get to your ultimate state and how to manifest without worry. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.